Hello and welcome to a very special edition of your Clean Eats Recipes with your Beachbody coach, Sammy. And I am proudly wearing my Insanity shirt today because I earned it because I just completed my challenge and it was an amazing workout, and I highly recommend whatever it is that you choose, whether it be Insanity, P90X, another Beachbody program, or just simply walking down the street in your neighborhood. Get active, get fit. So, along with fitness is clean eats. And today's clean eats recipe is Imam Baildi. That is a stuffed eggplant specialty of the Mediterranean that uses, of course, fresh, clean vegetables. So, are you ready? Here we go. And I kind of liked today being that our eggplants have the beautiful color purple, which is very seasonal for today, to surprise the kids with a very nutritious dinner that's also kind of spooky looking. All right, so our ingredients, as I was saying earlier, are eggplants. You know me, I cook for an army, but for you, you can choose to buy 6 eggplants or less, and it's the Chinese eggplant variety that I've told you about in the past. And always make sure that you're looking for nice, deep purple, no bruises, and nice and smooth. For this recipe, am using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eggplants that I'm going to show you in a moment how we're going to cut them to prepare them. Then, tomatoes. They're in season, and I bought, I think I had about 5 of them that I peeled and chopped down, very nice square small cubes, and I highly recommend doing the same. If you're in a hurry and you need to get stewed tomatoes, go ahead and do so, but if you do have just a few extra minutes, it does not take a long time. I recommend doing this. It tastes really flavorful and good. A little less than a bunch of parsley, 1 onion that was finely sliced in your slices. Cut your onion in half. Sorry for all my hand movements. Cut your onion in half, then cut it again across, and then slice it thin. About 4 cloves of garlic, thinly sliced. I like a little extra flavor since this is clean eats and I'm not frying my eggplant, so I've got a little bit of basil from the garden, and of course salt, pepper, and olive oil. So, ready for our spooky Halloween special clean eats? See you in a moment.
I hate the treadmill every day. I hate the Monday things they say. The boredom sets in.
Here we are. I am at my stove. I have my pan that's heating up. It's nice and hot. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. Now, eggplants do want some olive oil in there. They really thrive and get their flavors in. This is a choice that I'm making to heat up all of my ingredients first. I just wanted to get that extra flavor that comes from it. And I also like that it's going to be a little more pliable so that I can stuff my eggplant a little easier. So these are my finely sliced onions. I'm going to put those in first, let them get just a little bit heated up, and then we're going to add our garlic. All right, give it a little space here and there. So my heat is up high, and let's turn that around a little bit. Turn those around. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and add all of my tomato. Some salt and pepper. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my parsley. And my basil. I'll just leave that on top, cover, and let this simmer, just kind of go to a low while I go and prepare my eggplant. Nice and simple. I'm going to take my eggplant, cut that in half because they're pretty long, these Chinese eggplants in particular. And I'm going to be laying these down flat, so I'm going to try to just cut in the center, but not all the way to the ends, and open that up so that it's ready for filling. Kind of get the idea? Let's do that one more time. So I'm going to cut this in half and then slice it in the center, not getting all the way to the bottom or the edges, but just giving enough room for some filling. All right, now I also need to get my oven ready, so let me get that going at 350, and I'll see you on a little bit when I'm all done slicing my eggplants and my tomato mixture is ready to go. Just did the little slit like I told you on all of my eggplants, so that way I have the space to put them in. And just to add a little bit of flavor, I'm just gonna put a pinch, not even a pinch, of coarse salt here in the slits of the eggplant. Not too much, but just enough to kind of get out the natural juices and flavor of the eggplant. And my mixture of my tomato and parsley and garlic is almost ready. So I will be back in a moment, and we are gonna add that all in there for a delicious Halloween feast. Right before I took the tomato mixture outside of the fire, I added a little bit more salt, pepper, and olive oil in the blend, just because eggplants do require, like I said earlier, a lot of olive oil just to cook well, embellish the flavor that the eggplant gives while it's cooking in the oven. And also, because this is a clean eats recipe, what I've done different than the typical traditional recipe for Imam Baildi for stuffed eggplant is that they used to either fry their eggplants, and so that way they would be more pliable and open, or they would put olive oil in them and put them in the oven for a little while. I'm trying to avoid all those extra calories, and I found that it still is extremely flavorful dish. Now I'm also doing something different today in that I'm putting this in the oven. Previously, other times that I've made this dish, I actually, because you've seen my big pot that I have, I will put them in the pot and cook them on the stove instead of inside the oven. So this is another variety, another variation to the recipe that I'm providing for you. But go ahead and just very carefully open up your eggplant and pour that mixture in. So just take your mixture, open up your eggplant, and pour that right on in there. About 2 spoonfuls if you can get them in. And not to worry about being messy. Nothing has to look perfect. Just as long as you can get some of this tasteful mixture in all of them, and then whatever's left over, we're gonna pour that up on top. Just make sure you don't pour in too much of the liquid that's gonna be left over from the tomato sauce, because the eggplants themselves are gonna give off a lot of water when they're cooking, when we have them covered in a moment. So try to keep most of that still in your pot over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue putting this mixture in, and I hope you guys are having a good time watching this and being inspired to create another clean eats recipe for your family tonight. Or very soon. We're all set. I have stuffed every single one of my eggplants with my mixture. The tomato left out a little extra juice, so I'm leaving that inside my pan. I'm not going to add that in here because obviously the eggplants are going to let out a lot of water when it's cooking. So I'm going to cover this up. My oven was already set and ready at 350 degrees. And I am going to let this cook for, I would say, about an hour. All right, so enjoy. And guess what? An hour means that's an opportunity for a nice little workout for you.